How's everyone doing today? It's a day after Earth Day. So we're celebrating Earth Day by using and talking about herbs, spices, and roots. So I'm super excited to be here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Delilah. Thanks so much for joining us today. Yes, just as Alex said, this is still Earth Week. So we are celebrating and honoring Mother Earth in every way possible. So that's what this is all about. We're going to talk about how to use plants for physical and spiritual healing. So I'm a dietitian, a vegan dietitian. But I'm also holistic because I do Reiki energy healing and I'm a fitness instructor. So I try to merge all three of those things together. And Alex and I met a few years back at like a vegan get together. And yeah, I'll let Alex tell you more about himself.
Oh, thank you so much. So we're not only like close friends, but we're also both Reiki healers. So I'm a Reiki master, or I live from Kyoto, as well as a healer and a certified life coach. So I do a lot of holistic healing, both mentally as well as physically. And I'm really excited to be here to talk about herbs and plants. Of course, honor Earth Day and Earth Week for Mother Gaia herself.
Yes, fabulous. All right, so we are going to actually go through a select, endless. We could talk about so many herbs. We're going to talk about select few today. We're going to talk about a select few herbs today. And first, I'll talk about the physical part, and then Alex will cover the spiritual. So I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share so that you can see the whole presentation. So bear with me just one quick moment.
And these herbs, you guys, are actually herbs that are really easy to get. So they're herbs that we can find at most of our grocery stores as well as in our pantries.
Yes. Right? That's the part that I like the most.
Yes.
Like that's
easy and simple healing.
Perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get started.
All right.
So first one. Oop, I don't want that sound. There we go. Our first one is ginger. So ginger is honestly, it's like a legitimate like superfood because it impacts so many different systems in our body: digestion, immune, and also cardiovascular. So that's the heart system. So as far as digestion, it's what it's most well known for: soothing and digestion, gas, bloating, and also anti-nausea as well. And then as far as immune system, it's antimicrobial. So yes, it can be used to help fight off like the common cold and whatnot, but also it helps to keep out the bad bacteria in our gut too, which is great because our digestive system is so vital to our immune system. They're just like linked together. And then the way that it impacts our cardiovascular system, it impacts it in a few different ways, actually. Overall, it reduces our risk for heart disease, but that's because it improves the function of our blood vessels, meaning it makes them work better. So because of that, it lowers your blood pressure, and it also makes them less stiff and reduces clotting. And those two things, stiffness and clotting, are like the main characteristics of atherosclerosis, which is also another word for heart disease. So it prevents like that stiffening and the hardening of the arteries. Now, as far as using it, the good thing is that it's so ubiquitous. So tea is definitely widely available at most grocery stores.
Love it.
Yes, right. And you can use it
Yes.
dried. You can use it dried or fresh. Either one is totally fine. You will get the same health benefits. And then as far as savory dishes, it pairs with a lot of things. So winter and summer squashes are really good. Also dark green leafy veggies like spinach and collards and kale. And then as far as flavors, it pairs really well with lemon, lime, coconut, basil, turmeric, and sesame.
Awesome. Actually, a quick tidbit about ginger tea is like one of my favorites. And actually, most Asian airlines will carry ginger tea to reduce nausea, and it's very effective within that.
Nice.
Yeah. In terms of its spiritual health benefits, it actually helps to manifest love and protection. So normally when you're meditating, most cultures actually use crystallized ginger, make into a serum with like either agave or a type of sweetener that you like, and then actually cook it with the ginger and put it in your mouth during meditation. It actually helps to support manifestation of love and protection. So it's known as a spiritual herb in most cultures. Also, it speeds up the process of reaching goals. So a lot of times when we use ginger in like herbal tinctures, it actually is used also for your emotional goals to help you reach your process of like making sure it goes faster, because it actually speeds up the spell. So it's really awesome for like helping to intensify spells. It's also used to invoke the power of fire. So ginger is very warming for the body. So naturally, when you take ginger, you actually feel a lot warmer, right, internally. So actually, it does that with spells as well. So in spells, it'll actually help to improve the fire within it. It's a fire sign. So if you feel like you're weak in the fire element within your body, that's something that can help you balance yourself out emotionally as well. And we normally like to use it in tinctures, as well as place the crystallized ginger in either when we're meditating or manifesting.
That is awesome. Oh my God.
Yes.
Ginger, I told you, superfood, like legit superfood.
Yeah, superfood emotionally as well as physically.
Mm-hmm. So our next one is clove, which is a type of spice. So clove has a very, very long history of being used for oral health because eugenol, which is the main like active ingredient in clove oil, it actually fights the bacteria in our breath. So that means it fights bad breath. So you can take a few drops of the clove oil, water, and use it as a nice mouth rinse.
Give that to some of my old dates.
Right. Oh, right. And you can also
Yeah, exactly.
You can also take the clove oil. It's really great for toothaches as well. So you can take the clove oil and put it directly on the part of the gum that's inflamed and painful. I've also heard that people will just take the whole clove itself and put it up there too. It's also high in manganese. So manganese is something that supports our bone health. So that's like just another added benefit. And overall, it's rich in antioxidants, and antioxidants in general are just really important for overall health and wellness, because that's what keeps our body strength and vigor, or keeps up our strength and our vigor, and just reduces like the wear and tear of like everyday life. So as far as how to incorporate it, it goes well in lots of savory dishes. It pairs well with like those warm spicy flavors like cinnamon and ginger. We just talked about nutmeg, even fennel too. It's a pretty common ingredient in a lot of Indian cuisine, but as well as East African and North African. And you can eat it either ground or whole. Either is totally fine.
Super yummy. Clove is one of my favorite ingredients. In terms of spirituality, it actually enhances courage. So it's known in a lot of cultures to enhance natural courage within your body. So eating clove actually makes you a little bit stronger, not just physically, but emotionally as well. Also, the aroma of clove itself improves cognitive behavior. So that's actually known both in the science world as well as in the physical world, right? So just smelling the clove will actually help you feel better. You start having a clearer mind and feel like you're able to reach your goals a lot more efficiently, which I love. Just smelling clove, plus it smells so amazing. Like I can see how it would do that. And then lastly, like if you want to create a herbal love charm, just mix a little bit of clove and jasmine. You can carry it in a bag around with you. It actually helps promote attracting your soulmate. So I'm all about that life, you know what I'm saying? And also, like, it's great for if you're already in a relationship to have love for yourself too. So I like to carry it around for creating more self-love as well.
That is amazing. So courage and self-love, I feel like those two things go like hand in hand, like the courage.
Yes, well, because we have to be courageous in love, right? Because
Yeah.
if you're weak-minded in love, it's hard to sustain a relationship. You have to be strong-minded if you want to have real love.
Yeah, and pick what's right for you. That is awesome. Okay.
Exactly.
Our next one is hibiscus. So this is a flower, and you're going to find it in the dried form. So it works mostly on our cardiovascular system and our urinary tract. So as cardiovascular, it is really great for lowering blood pressure because it acts on a certain type of enzyme in our bodies, and that's how it lowers the blood pressure. And so lots of Americans have high blood pressure, not even just Americans, people around the world, right? And so many
Exactly.
so many people are on blood pressure lowering medications, and some of these medications actually reduce potassium as like a not so great side effect. And potassium is something our body really, really needs in a very specific window. So that's not so ideal, but hibiscus, it lowers blood pressure without having that negative side effect of reducing potassium in your body, which is really important.
Mm,
Low potassium can like mess with your heart rate and all kinds of other things that you don't want to happen. And then along with lowering your blood pressure, it's a natural diuretic. So diuretic means that it makes you pee, right? But that's actually a good thing. That might sound weird, but it's a good thing. So that's actually another way that it helps lower your blood pressure,
mm,
to like reduce excess fluid. But also it helps with by being a natural diuretic, it helps with certain conditions like edema, where the body
mm,
has collected too much fluid, and
mm,
even like other heart conditions that use like pharmaceutical diuretics, like congestive heart failure,
mm.
liver failure. There are all kinds of pharmaceutical diuretics. However, hibiscus is a natural diuretic. And also remember that when we pee, like that's our body releasing toxins, like that's part of our
Yeah,
body's natural cleansing process. So it's very important that we do that regularly, right? And it
yeah,
also,
exactly.
yeah, and when it's making us pee more, it's helping us to release more uric acid um, in our urine, which is really great because so uric acid, when we have too much of that, that can lead to things like kidney stones and
Mhm.
gout, which are both really painful conditions. If you've never had it, you don't want it, right?
Yeah.
It helps our body like release any extra uric acid that's been built up. So that's really ideal. And as
Yeah,
far
no, totally. Especially like when you eat too much salt, you'll have like extreme water retention. It
yeah,
doesn't look good on you.
it doesn't look good and also doesn't feel good too, right? That's
Yeah,
like
of course.
don't want
Both.
that. Right. So as far as like how to use it, mostly in drinking form. So since it's dry, you'll
Mm.
put it in a tea. It tastes really good with ginger, so you can do hibiscus.
Ikema.
Right? Yes, and then also Jamaica. So that's like another
Yeah,
type of agua fresca made with
yeah.
hibiscus. So just spruce it up in your drink.
Beautiful. Beautiful. In terms of spiritual benefits, as you know, it's actually like a natural love attractor too. So you'll see a lot of women wear hibiscus in their hair, and it naturally attracts like a mate. So it's actually known to like do that, like in ancient history. So typically, if a girl wants to attract a guy, they'll put a flower in her hair, and she'll walk around, and that guy will definitely be like, "Ooh, there's something interesting about that girl," right? So it's used a lot in different cultures, especially in Hawaiian culture. It's also used to manifest love and passion, as you know, I said before, having it in your hair. I'm using it in your clothing, and the red color invokes passion, right? Red invokes passion. So when you see the red on a lady, you're like, oh man, that's a passion situation right there. I want to get to know her. Or, you know, if you're other way around, you want to get to know him, wear high as well.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a passion builder, and it's definitely a manifester for love. It also contains elements of fire and water. So when we're talking about the female energy, it's a very balancing energy. So it's something we both need. We need fire and we need water in our body. So it helps to balance out both those energies for us to feel more fulfilled and have a better flow within ourselves. So spiritually and emotionally, that's really important, especially when you want to develop chi energy. And the last thing I want to talk about is that's actually included into moho bags to attract more freedom and joy. So people in different cultures, especially in Africa, they'll carry like a flannel bag, put some hibiscus in there as well as like other herbs or stones they like, and they'll carry it around, and that's supposed to attract more freedom and manifest more joy for them. So it's used in the cultural history a lot as well.
That is amazing. And it's just beautiful and like stunning to look at.
Gorgeous. I mean, but of course, forgot for the moho bags, definitely make sure it's dried hibiscus. You don't want to carry like
Oh, yeah.
large flowers in your bag. So that's really important. And of course, you can make it into tea afterward, whatever you want to.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So 2 in 1. That's perfect. Yeah. So take the dried hibiscus, put it in your mojo bag, and then make some tea. Oh, efficient and sustainable.
Yes.
I like it. So our next one is peppermint. So peppermint, a lot like ginger, is so ubiquitous. Honestly, like I think the powers of this herb get kind of slept on because it is everywhere and we kind of take it for granted. But
Mhm.
peppermint is a very powerful plant. So it mostly works on our digestive system, but also a little bit with inflammation as well. So as far as digestion, it's really not well known for relieving gas, bloating, and like the pain that comes along with the gas. And it helps our body to efficiently digest and break down fats. So whenever we take in fats, our body uses something called bile. And bile is a substance that's stored in our gallbladder. And every time we're ingesting fat, our gallbladder releases the bile so that we can properly break it down. And so peppermint stimulates the gallbladder to release enough bile to break down the fat properly. So that's really important, because when our body doesn't break down fat properly, it feels very, very uncomfortable, right? And since peppermint is very anti-inflammatory, because it's very loaded with antioxidants, it reduces inflammation along the whole GI tract. And so the GI tract extends from the mouth to the anus. So it reduces inflammation along that entire route. Now you might be wondering the difference between peppermint and spearmint, because those are two different types of mint. Right here I'm speaking specifically about peppermint, and what distincts it from spearmint is that it has more menthol. That's like the main active ingredient. That's that minty, like, bite flavor. Spearmint has a lot less of that, so you'll notice it has a much more milder sweet taste. So peppermint, it's much more potent, but if that's too strong for you, you still can use spearmint. While it may not act on the gallbladder the same way, it's still loaded in antioxidants. Still very antioxidant rich herb nonetheless. So as far as including it in your daily life, tea is like the easiest way, like peppermint tea or mint tea. Or you can also just blend it into your savory dishes. So whether it's spearmint or peppermint, spearmint tends to get used more in the culinary world just because it is more milder, but honestly, do whatever works best for you, like whatever tastes good to you. But you can put it in your smoothies, that's what I like to do, put it in some sauces, garnishes, anything. But there is one thing I forgot to mention. So although peppermint and mint are great for digestion and digesting fats, if you have heartburn, it is not good for that, because it actually aggravates it more. So if you have, to recap, if you have gas, bloating, and digestion, great. But if you have heartburn, which is also known as acid reflux, it's not so great because it actually aggravates that further.
That's important to know. Most people don't know that.
Yeah, it's rising, right? Because, I mean, technically the way it works, there's like this little flap on top of your stomach, and when we have heartburn, that flap is opening up, right? And peppermint actually makes that flap open up more, which makes you have more heartburn, so that's not so great. But yeah, good to know, definitely.
Exactly. So with peppermint, it's one of those herbs that's known as, well, first of all, let me say this. Peppermint is super easy to grow. It's actually considered like an invasive plant, but that's good for us because it has so many amazing health benefits, just as you mentioned. But also, if you grow in your backyard, it's going to grow everywhere. So it's an awesome plant to have.
Yeah.
Also, it's known in the spiritual community as well as in the emotional community to really uplift your spirits. So when you're someone that uses peppermint diffusing oil, which I use a lot, you know, because I gotta study, I gotta do work, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes it gets depressing when you're like, oh, I'm on my computer, especially the coronavirus, like I'm home alone. So by putting some peppermint oil in your diffuser, it actually uplifts your spirits. It makes you feel more mentally clear, which I love so much, and I know you guys will love too. And it's also really good for the body, as you mentioned. So also, it actually helps promote mental clarity. So either using it as a diffuser or using it in tea helps your cognitive function work better, as well as you feel like you have more clarity in your mind to pursue your goals more. And it also expels negative forces around you. So a lot of times, peppermint will be used as a herb to give to different deities as an offering because it has so many healing properties. And also is really good for expelling negative energy. So you can either burn it in like a sage bundle, or you can actually put it around your house as a protective ward against any negative energy. And it actually helps out a lot. It's used in a lot of cultural traditions. Ways I like to use peppermint is to place peppermint in a diffuser, as I mentioned before, and that's like one of my favorite ways. Always, I love to have peppermint oil on every day when I'm doing work. I also use it in tinctures. It's very good tinctures to help with digestion issues, any issues that you feel like you're overly bloated, you need some help with that. And also included herbal blends to invoke spirits, but good spirits. Don't use it for any bad stuff. So peppermint is definitely one of those super, like those really super like herbs that most people don't even know it's so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the underdog or something, huh?
Yeah, because it's so easy, but then it's like, that's also a good thing. If it's so easy, let's grow more of it.
Yeah. Right. Totally. Okay, and the next on our last one is holy basil. So holy basil, not your typical basil. It's also known as tulsi. So you might see it at the store as holy basil tea or tulsi tea. So this is actually what's called an adaptogen. And so adaptogens
Mhm.
are different types of herbs and roots and plants which have a very strengthening protective effect on our adrenals. Adrenals are glands that are like right on top of the kidneys. And so because of that, they help our body respond better to stress. They make our body more resilient in the face of stress. So we bounce back quicker from exhaustion and tiredness, whether it's physical or mental stress. Because as you may know, stress has very negative effects on our body. And over
Yes.
time, like those effects just like build up and build up, like increased levels of cortisol hormone for an extended period of time is not so great for our body. But holy basil, it's an adaptogen. So it helps our body recuperate from that much faster, right? So that's amazing. That right there. I can go on and on,
Exactly.
but that right there. But in addition to that, since it supports the adrenals, which are a major part of our hormone function, it helps to lower blood sugar. And blood sugar is really important because it's pretty much guided by our hormonal health. And as
Mhm.
you guys know, like diabetes, type 2 diabetes in particular, is just growing to be more and more prevalent, like with every single day. And it has so many other negative
For
health.
children as well, it's crazy.
Yeah, very young children too. So it
Yeah.
does help to lower and regulate our blood sugar. So that's very important. And then the third point, going back to the stress, in addition to like being adapted and helping our body to cope with the effects of physical stress on our body, mentally it helps us reduce stress and anxiety, and just overall better cognition and mental clarity, and just promotes like better brain function. So as far as how to incorporate it, the best way that I know how is through tea mainly. You'll find it mostly at the store. It's typically labeled as Tulsi tea, and there are different
Mhm.
varieties. There are actually about 3 or 4 different kinds of holy basil. Krishna is the
Mhm.
most well-known one, but there are some other varieties as well. As far as we understand, they're all extremely beneficial. So pick either one, maybe whichever one's more available to you, whichever one speaks to you more the most. But they all carry amazing health benefits.
Oh, you know, a bomb ass recipe I have for holy basil is, especially during this time because we're reaching the summer, right? What you
Mm-hmm.
can do is get some soda water, put some ice in it, and mix in some holy basil tonic, right? Like those little tonics that are mixed between alcohol and holy basil as a tincture. Put a few droplets of the holy basil tincture in there with some stevia mixed together with a lemon slice, and drink that as a refreshing drink for the summer.
Superfood mocktail. That sounds amazing. Like
Yes.
maybe like a
And you know, like,
citrus.
it's super good for
Mm,
you too.
that's
In
it.
terms of its spiritual and emotional benefits, it's believed to bring in love and prosperity. So it's really good in the spiritual world for bringing in a lot of positive energy. So if you want to attract more love as well as prosperity, which love is the current theme for all of the herbs we're dealing with right now, which is all good because we all need more love, both self-love as well as love for others.
Mhm.
Also, it's very emotionally balancing. So it's known as a herb to help to emotionally balance your body and your emotions and feel more in tune with the earth, Mother Gaia. And it's also known as the ultimate serum, not just in Indian culture, but also in Chinese culture. So it's believed that holy basil is like the mecca for using in as a tonic to help improve your chi energy. So what is chi energy? Chi energy is your spiritual veins, okay? So basically we have our regular veins, our physical veins, right? And it's really important to have good blood flow throughout the body. And it helps within our physical health a lot. But in terms of source energy or within chi energy, if you have a blockage of chi energy to like a particular area, you're not just going to feel it physically, but you're also going to feel it emotionally as well. So we want to make sure that we have a good flow within that. And holy basil is known as a herb that's the ultimate herb for helping to improve good chi energies for emotional as well as physical balancing. So it's used a lot in China, and of course, it's used a ton in India in a lot of their medicine. And the ways I like to use it is in the tinctures, or like you said, in teas, especially for that like summertime drink within soda water, a few drops, just only like 1 or 2 drops of the holy basil tincture, and then some stevia and a lemon slice, you're all good.
That sounds so delicious. Oh my God.
Yes.
I want that.
It can be healthy and yummy at the same time.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm into. The superfood mocktails. Yes, I'm all about that.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is everything. Those are all of our herbs for today that we covered. I really hope that you benefited from this and like really found some things that you can put in your pocket and apply like the next time you go prepare yourself a drink, whatever. Set up your room with the aromas. Just so much wealth of information here from myself and Alex, and I really just hope you guys can use it. This is fabulous. Hopefully we'll be able to do some more. It was awesome.
Yes, I would love to. And I
Yes.
love that we're mixing in, physical health with, I love that we're mixing in physical health benefits with emotional and spiritual health benefits, because that's really important. And a lot of these, techniques are not just in trends, right? They've been in different cultures for thousands of years, such as hibiscus has been used in magic, both in Africa as well as Latin America, for thousands, if not millions of years.
Yeah.
And then holy basil is an herb that's not only great for your physical health, but also for your emotional, spiritual health, that's used both in China as well as India. So we're talking about how it affects us both in so many different ways, as well as how prominent it is in different cultures. So that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just bringing it back to Mother Earth, like you said, this has been around for thousands upon thousands of years. Like this is
Exactly.
nothing new, but it's always good to revisit and remember, like Mother Earth is here to support us, like abundantly. We have to honor, respect, and understand. So yeah, I thank everyone for being here. Thank you for participating. Thank you for taking this time to invest in yourself, helping yourself help other people around you as well. We are going to leave our information below so that you guys can find us online on Instagram and our websites. But yeah, that's my last piece. Alex, anything else you want to leave off with?
I would just say make sure to follow, like, and subscribe to this, as well as support people of color, making a huge difference in the healing community. Because again, this community, we need to create more exposure for people of diversity and be able to support each other. So let's work as a community, support each other, and encourage each other to do great things. So love you guys all. Thank you so much.
Yes, love you too. Have a fabulous, fabulous day. And whatever you do, love yourself and then love other people.
Exactly. Bye, everyone.
All right, bye.